kicking the...
Just kicking our way into the fucking episode. Booting electronics.
Is it working?
Sure the warranty's all good. Yeah.
Still working. It's very hardy, that, isn't it? Because it's had a good shoeing.
That has had a good shoeing. We did trash the power cable for it last week. Bent it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's got a brand new one in it now.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, that's when it wasn't turning on.
Yeah. Yeah. That was me and my big fat feet. Hobbit feet.
You probably should get some kind of a better setup in the future. It looks so nice there, don't you think? Like,
you can't see under this desk.
There's just a cluster of fucking cables.
It's just like, you know, when you tidy a room and you get down to the lower level and blokes just go, nah.
Yeah.
Can't see that bit, we'll leave it be.
Yeah, it's literally just this bit here. Even this bit's got a little bit of clutter, but it's not too bad. But yeah, if you were to see everything else, you'd be disgusted.
Ladies, if you're dating somebody who's new, who's a guy, and you're going round to his house, I guarantee.
Look under the bed and look under
look in the cupboards nearby where you think they'd normally met. I bet he's just taken everything and just scutted it off the sofas, shoved it in another
bedside
place.
cabinet, absolutely just rammed. It's like all kinds of things just dropping out.
If you listen closely, you'll hear cupboards just going.
Yeah, they're just striding under tension. Literally beforehand, you know, is it in Japan where they're like forcing people into trains?
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Just like that. Squeezing the door closed, you hear it clicking. You're like, oh, okay, thank God.
Thank God, yeah, that'll do. And then you just hide away from it for a week. That's what I do when I'm unpacking.
Yeah.
My suitcase stays unpacked for, I'd say, at least a month when I get back.
Yeah, I do the same, to be
I
honest.
hate packing and hate unpacking.
I'm terrible, even with like BJJ. So like I'll put everything in there, and then like it'll just sit there all week, and then I'm like, oh, I need to go to BJJ. I better wash that. I don't know why, but after I'll just be like, I'll deal with that later, and then
I don't know what it is. loathe it.
Me too.
I have like an actual disdain. Like if it was a person, I'd sneer at it every time I walk past.
Yeah, you know, some people who like go to. Not that I know anyone who does this, but I know some people do. They go to a hotel, if they're staying there for a few days, and they'll properly like unpack their suitcase and hang it up and put it in the door. I'm like, who are you?
Not once.
What person are you? I just live out of that suitcase.
100%.
And then I'll just like chuck everything out because the thing I want's at the bottom. Then I'll just fucking stuff it all back in, tuck it under. I'll just live like a tramp for a few days.
And if you think about it, it probably would be better to take it out, put it in the drawers and hang it up, because then when you had to put it back in the suitcase, it just go back in way easier and way neater.
Yeah, definitely. It makes so much more sense, but that requires being organised.
How is it as well when you leave, it fits, and when you're coming back,
yeah,
you're just like having to sit on the bugger and fight it in.
Yeah, that always.
What is that about? And I swear most of the time you lose stuff while you're there, so you come out with less.
Yeah, I don't get that as well. I think when you're at home, you're just diligent and you're like, oh, there we go, tidy, pack it. You pack it all away nicely and fold or whatever else. But then when you're coming home, like realistically, you're probably packing the morning that you need to be getting out of the hotel.
It's all a bit damp.
Yeah, and you're just fucking chucking it in, and then you're just like, yeah, that'll fucking do. And then you think you've got it all in, and you just like zip it up, just about close it, and then you turn around and there's like a load of shit that you didn't put in. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake. And
you go into the bathroom and you realize you haven't packed any of your toiletries.
Yeah, all your
You've got a whole toilet right to go in there yet, and you're like, how?
Yeah, how
There's
did this come
no
out?
physical place for this thing to go.
Yeah, I'll just chuck it under my arm.
It's now my hand luggage.
Yeah. Well, you're actually going away, aren't you?
I'm going first time in over 2 years. How insane is that?
Should we first set the scene, because this is not a Friday night for everyone? Like,
that's true. Yeah. What day is it?
It's
a Tuesday.
So this is the closest that the podcast actually is to the day that it's getting released. Because although we're further away, Monday and Tuesday are next to each other.
That is such a backwards way.
No, but you know what I mean? Yeah, but like people listen to the CREWCast at the beginning of the week. But we record it at the end of the week.
We're actually at
so
the
like the
beginning
vibes
of the
are
week.
different for us.
Yeah, that's true.
Although not for you, because you're fucking going away, you prick.
Yeah, but,
I'm stuck at work.
Yeah. But at least the sun's shining.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I am. Dude, and because I'm not vaccinated.
Yeah.
And everything's just taken our podcast down because I said the word vaccinated.
Oh, fuck.
They're still going mad about that. You have to do this lateral flow test. So you get this packed. You have to order it online. It costs you like 25 quid. Mm-hmm. You send it off. And you have to send it off within 72 hours of your flight. So that's when they deem that test is allowed up to 72 hours. And you have to work it back from when your actual flight leaves as well.
Hours,
not like
minutes.
the day.
Yeah.
Literally minutes and hours to when you flight leaves. So be careful with that.
Yeah, fucking hell, I bet.
But when it comes, you open it up and there is like one card with his instruction on how to send it in. Mm-hmm. Now, what they don't fucking tell you anywhere, and I mean anywhere, not check this before, nothing. You have to register your sample tube for when you want to send it in. You have to register it, and you have to go through this whole rigmarole of signing in as you're doing it.
Oh, right. So you're like signing in live almost.
Yeah, like start now, and then that's when they take the register and you put the time you're taking the test.
So that's how they know you actually did it.
But nowhere, and I mean nowhere, in this entire box that comes with you does it tell you to do that whole thing.
Yeah.
Nowhere. And even when you go on the website,
yeah,
I got it from Medic Spot, which is the common one. It's like one of the top ones to get it from. Even on their site, they mention it in like the first paragraph underneath a page worth of how to ship it back to them. It just says, after you've registered your sample, that's all it says. And if you've missed that on this A4 page, it's one sentence with no link. On the site, it doesn't even say register here.
Yeah,
Nothing.
click here to register.
Nothing. So I reckon there's hundreds of thousands of people who've sent these fucking things in and been like, where's my result?
Yeah.
And then not being able to fly. So if you're getting one of these lateral flow tests, you have to register the actual number that's on the vial that gets sent in the thing with you, and it will not say to do that anywhere.
Shocking, that.
It's fucking disgusting because I'm adept with tech. I researched numbers, addresses, fucking everything, and even the people I was ringing were like, "Is it not on there?"
I'm
like,
adept with tech.
Hey, I am. You know, we're techie, we're savvy. We can pick stuff up. We know how it works. Imagine if your mum and dad was trying to do it.
Yeah. Just imagine you getting your glasses on. You're like,
let's get into this one.
Yeah.
But imagine if your mum and dad, your granddad, or someone's trying to do that shit.
Oh, yeah,
not a fucking hope.
No, not prayer. Although they'll probably be double, triple, quadruple vaccinated.
Yeah, let's say that, yeah. But even then, you still have to have antigen tests.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're still testing.
But they've got rid of those now, I think. It's all finally disappearing. Even some countries now, you can go to Iceland, Hungary, Poland, and Sweden. All just open borders now.
Yeah.
Don't need any tests, nothing.
Is Beijing gone back into a lockdown again? I know Emma was saying that because she, like, the company's international, so she's always talking to people from all over the world.
They were killing pets again in China, weren't they? Or something crazy.
I don't fucking know, but I'm sure Beijing has gone back into a lockdown. Because I don't think they're experiencing like deaths, but I think the rates have gone up, and they're just that militant now because of what happened. They're like,
well, I'm fucking done with it. I'm done with it.
Yeah, I'm done with it as well.
All done with it.
I don't know if anyone would give a shit anymore now.
To be honest, as shitty as this sounds, that Ukraine and Russian war thing has finally knocked it on the head, I think.
It's
because there's some real fucking problems in the world.
Yeah, literally, it's like pushed the attention to something actually real. And not that COVID wasn't real, but like they definitely over-dramatized it to sell newspapers, and they kind of...
To sell vaccines.
Yeah, to sell vaccines. And they just pushed it a lot harder.
Did we talk about it the other week?
What?
About what I heard about the teenage vaccines.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, because we spoke about the bodybuilder.
That they were advised that they didn't need them and then still pushed them the next day. Yeah, shocking. Yeah, so outside of that stupid lateral, I just want people to be aware if you have to do one of these lateral flows, if like me, you didn't get the vaccine because you're a healthy individual and you just thought, well, you know, pros of not getting it outweigh the cons. Then, be really careful. You need to register that vial and get it done, otherwise you are scuppered.
Yeah.
But I will be then jettisoning. That sounds wrong.
Jettisoning?
Is that right?
I think so. That's how I say it.
Jettisoning.
Not that I say jettisoning that often.
I know, but jettisoning. That doesn't sound right.
Jettisoning.
I'll be flying.
Yeah.
Out to Porto, Portugal. And then when I land in Portugal, I have a 2-hour drive to a retreat in the back end of nowhere for this, like, it's through the company down in Bristol. They're a PT company called SF Fitness, and they have a retreat. They work with a company on a retreat out in Portugal, and they hold basically fitness retreats there. So it's like mindfulness, fitness, and just fun.
Yeah.
So there's going to be rafting, paddleboarding, hiking. There's a gym. I think there's boxing. I think there's like pools, plunge pool. But I'm in with the dude who owns the site too. And he likes motorbiking. So I was on the phone to him the other week, and he's like, I don't know what the rest of your job is while you're here, but when you get here for me, it's motorbikes and days out.
Yeah.
I say it's like me and you and motorbikes. I was like, I'm in.
Nice.
But you try packing any motorbike gear. Not a chance, because I'm only taking like hand luggage and then a large cabin bag.
Can you rent motorbike?
Well,
stuff?
I'm going to wear my motorbike trainers out.
They're just going
Just walking out.
helmet on, just full leathers.
And I'm going to wear my motorbike trainers, my motorbike trousers, my motorbike jacket.
That, and then a t-shirt and stuff over the top.
Yeah. No, Well, because we're going like motocross style, so it's like trail runs.
Right.
So you can a lot of time you're not as armored up as you are on the road for that, mainly because it's the nature of their sport. They don't wear that much armor because they need to be really maneuverable. But I've got armored boots in that.
Probably not going to take gloves. The same pace that you on the road as well.
Still, they do go quick, those boys though.
Yeah.
But we won't be. Yeah. We'll be just enjoying the runs out, riding over the plains, getting to like heritage sites and stuff like that. But there will be some it's all off road, all off road. But he said there's just no law there, so you just do what you want. There's no law anyway because they're too far out from everything.
Yeah.
So they just don't care. They leave them alone.
Wow.
So I was like, awesome. And he does actually have 2 ninjas as well, Kawasaki ninjas. So we're going out on those 2.
That'll be
so fun. On that one, but he's got all the kit out there, and because I'm like a size large, even though I'm not 6'4", I should still be able to fit in the majority of stuff in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So I'll be all right. So I'm going to borrow a helmet, although I've got a peanut head. But this is where the man bun comes into play. See, I can put the man bun up, and it makes my small head into a medium.
Peanut.
Yeah, it's shaped like a peanut if you look at it. It goes out at the top like a normal head, but then it comes in, like around the normal head, but then it comes in here at my temple.
Yeah.
And then it comes back out around and down to my jaw. So it's essentially like an outline of a figure 8 or a peanut.
Yeah, I think the beard accentuates it because it makes the jaw appear wider. So it definitely does.
The jaw is there.
Yeah.
There and there.
Hold on. Look down.
So my jaw is here.
That's a peanut.
A peanut, isn't it? From a little peanut.
Yeah, I've never really noticed it until you pointed it out.
So, but because I've got the peanut, because it dips in the middle here, when you put a motorbike helmet on, it means I can shift my head from side to side in a medium.
Inside.
Even though it fits front to back, side to side, I've got that movement that you shouldn't have.
Right.
So I have to wear a small, which is a little tight on me, but stops any movement.
Right.
So I'm like halfway.
So you need peanut filling.
Yeah.
to pack the sides.
I need like a Reebok. I need like a Reebok pump helmet.
Yeah. I wonder why that's not a thing.
They do have them in the Scorpions, but it's just for the cheek pads. They pump up the cheek pads. They're actually really good because, 1, it's cool, because pump up your helmet, but 2, because it's an air barrier, it actually deadens sound.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
I suppose
really
it's got to be sealed, hasn't it?
I don't know why more haven't implemented it. I guess cost.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, Scorpion ones have it. It's pretty
Sounds
cool.
Very interesting. Have to send me some. Well, I'm going to say send me some photos. I'm guessing you're going to be getting plenty. Of shots
obviously, I'm going out there. Yeah, I'm going out there with the SF retreat. So they're basically showcasing it for me because what they ideally would like me to do is help them hold retreats out there as well.
Yeah.
So that could be something we could do with the CREWCast or with Black Country.
Yeah, I think it's something I've wanted to do for ages, and it's always been on the back of the list because, just being honest, like these fitness retreat things always look fucking amazing, but when it comes to like what's the most bang for your buck of getting somebody into fitness, it's not a fitness retreat, is it? It's something amazing to do if you're already into fitness and you want to have
it's not
a fun holiday that's already involving something that you kind of enjoy or going to explore into. So that's why it's always been like pushed to the back because of like the things that we work on are more like feet on the ground, fundamental stuff. But it's always been something I've loved the idea of because I'm one of them people that goes on holiday when I do have the rare opportunity and I'm like, right, I need to relax. I'm gonna sit at the beach, and then I sit at the beach and I'm like, I'm bored now. I'm gonna get up and then I'm like, right, I just sit there sweating and I'm just like, right, I need to get in the sea, and then I just go off and fucking go scuba diving or I need to be occupied. I
I'm
can't.
The same, dude.
I think I need it, but then when I actually have the reality of it,
but no, rest doesn't have to be sitting still.
No, of course not.
But that's what these retreats are. That's the thing. It's supposed to be escapism. Yeah. So you're doing something that's fun, that's entertaining, that's new to you. You're seeing this beautiful place that you're taken to. It's surrounded by trees and loveliness. And this one's a bit special actually because there's chefs and everything there for you.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. So
I've seen a proper one.
Yeah.
You can get massage and stuff if you want as well, but I don't think I will.
Any happy endings?
I would hope so.
Are you that's why you're
I'll
there.
be there. That's
You're
what
providing
I'm there for.
Just the happy endings.
Just
the masseuse
running along. I'll just.
Yeah,
like spinning plates,
like whack-a-mole,
whack-a-knob.
Just running.
Well, that's being sexist. I mean, there could be a bit of that going on as well.
Is that how you do it? Like a DJ?
DJ. That's it. This is my move.
So if you just listen to this, none of this makes any sense. This is what you need to watch. Watch on YouTube or watch on Spotify.
Oh, as well, thank you all for leaving comments and for rating us on
We've
Spotify.
got quite a lot of reviews on Spotify.
Yeah, please keep leaving the reviews on Spotify. They really do help, and they're also just nice to read. I don't think we've had any voice notes, though. People aren't believing in this factor. You can leave us an actual voice note. I want to make this a thing. Go on the Spotify description, and there's a link to leave us voice notes.
I don't know whether it'd be funny whether we just do like a phone-in thing, like, you know, on the radio where they used to do like phone-ins, whether we like open up a few spots and then we just do a live phone-in off somebody and see what happens.
We could just do a competition, and then somebody wins the phone-in.
Yeah.
Well, that makes it easier, doesn't it?
I wonder if we could do that as just having a guest, just like a live, just be our guest.
Be our guest.
Be our guest.
Be our guest. Put
That's a
our
song.
technicians to the test.
That's a song, isn't it?
Yeah, it's from Beauty and the Beast.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Be our guest. Yeah, there we go. I knew
Put our
my brain
service
was
to the
like,
test.
this is a thing that already exists. Yeah, so whatever that song is. I don't know.
I swear like I watched the movie. I watched Legend.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah, you know, after we talked about it, I had to see it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's dark.
It is so dark.
I forgot how dark it was. I also forgot how bad Tom Cruise's teeth were.
I know, yeah. He literally, his middle...
Oh, you're going to ruin some people's day now.
Yeah, if you look at his front teeth...
His two front teeth.
Yeah, so they're offset so much that he has one tooth that is central.
One middle tooth.
Yeah, he just has a tooth in the middle of his head, and then his other front tooth is actually completely offset.
Look at his smile. His two front teeth are off centre, so he has one middle tooth.
And that's after he's already had a load of dental work done. So when you saw him, he's like 18 or 19.
I mean, they're not horrendous. They're just
they're not
normal.
bad.
They're mid-leveled, but it's because you're so used to seeing him with these other teeth. Yeah. It's a bit of a like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah,
because he must have been like 16, 17 in that movie.
I think he is like 17 or 18. It's one of his first like major films.
It's like if you haven't seen it, it's called Legend. It was made in like 1985. It's just a cult classic.
Yeah, it's a very, very old Ridley Scott film. I think it was before Alien or anything like that.
It's got to be one of his first.
And it is. So it's just, imagine... It was like Lord of the Rings with a much smaller...
Peter Pan.
Yeah, mixed with Peter Pan. Or if you've ever seen Willow.
Willow, yeah.
Something along the same themes.
Weren't they around the same time?
Yes.
There was Legend, Willow, and Labyrinth.
Yeah. Oh, Labyrinth as well.
And when you watch it back, you can see why Labyrinth wins.
Yes.
Because from...
David Bowie in leggings.
David Bowie in leggings, just with his knob on full display.
Yeah, and they're just
and
children everywhere. Children running around puppets.
Yeah, think of that through. So there's David
and
Bowie.
he's trying to kidnap the children.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. So you got a crazy looking, gender neutral dude.
He's like
in
strangely
leggings.
handsome, but he's like
with
weird
makeup on.
Yeah, he's like, you're really good looking, but I don't know from which
gender.
Oh, yeah, from which gender. You're somehow a handsome man and a beautiful lady at the same time.
With amazing hair.
Yeah, and a brilliant voice.
Amazing hair. Great voice. Then he's walking around in leggings where you can see his knob surrounded by puppets whilst all the time trying to kidnap a small child and seduce an underage girl.
Yeah, it's ropey at best, but it's fucking awesome.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah, I love that film so much. But I also love Legend. There's something about that.
Hello.
Yeah, the little.
Did you say hello? No, I said hello.
Yeah, I love that little worm. And Ludo, the big fucking
Ludo. Yeah.
Ogle.
Yeah. Hoggle. Yeah, he's a little bugger. He is.
Yeah.
And the dog riding. What's he called? Sir Lancelot.
Yeah, he's like a fox.
Yeah,
and he rides amazing. The dog.
Yeah. He's a dog riding a dog, isn't it, or something?
He's a fox riding a dog.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
The
Bog of Stench.
Yeah. If no one's watched this, they'll be like, what the fuck are these?
You need to watch Labyrinth, then you need to watch Willow. No. Watch Labyrinth, then watch Legend, then watch Willow.
Yeah. And like, you'd look at, especially, I'd say Labyrinth. No, actually, Legend is the darkest of those.
100%.
Because I remember as a kid, the witch thing always used to freak me out.
Dude, she is scary.
She's fucking,
Scary.
But that was so prominent in my head that when I watched it, like maybe a year or two ago, I was like, oh, it was quite a short scene, isn't it? It's not it's not in it a lot.
Like 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
But in my head, that was like...
a big impact.
Yeah, really, because I think I was traumatized by this fucking horror. I just remember looking at her, and I always remember thinking, she looks like she's covered in tinned spinach.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
It's
proper creepy.
It's like trailing off her.
And she's trying to eat him. But she's massive as well.
Yeah, she's really big.
Yeah.
And that portrayal of... So he's the Is he the Prince of Darkness? Or he's called the Lord of Darkness, but he's like the devil, basically.
Yeah, they don't call him the devil, but he's the Lord
he
of
looks
Darkness.
like what
it's
you
good.
think the devil
It's
is.
light versus dark. The whole thing, isn't it?
He's a big red man with horns.
The best representation, in my opinion, of a devil.
Oh, 100%.
In any movie still.
Yeah, it honestly, it's if hell is a fucking real place and you went there and he turned up, you're like, oh shit, this is real.
That's the one.
Whereas like any other representation of him, you'd be like, oh, that's a bit corny.
Yeah.
He nails the devil, and it's Tim Curry as well, who you would like.
You can't see him in it.
No,
you can hear him.
There's certain moments when he smiles where you're just like, once you knew. But if you had to identify,
I knew. I was trying to look. To me, he still looks like he should be a big black guy.
He's massive, like jacked as fuck.
Yeah.
The way
But even though he's jacked,
horns.
like Tim Curry's not jacked.
No.
It looks like he's jacked.
Yeah, the prosthetics on it.
I thought it was just a big dude.
Yeah, the prosthetics on it are amazing, especially considering this film's fucking nearly 40 years old now.
85.
Is that when it was? 85?
Yeah.
So like 33 years old, something like that?
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck it is.
So I was trying to work out Tom Cruise's age in it.
37? I don't know. It's old. And 37 years old, something like that.
We're in 2022 now.
Yeah.
So if goddamn maths is taking a beating today, isn't it? So it's 38, 37 years old.
Yeah. 37, yeah, whatever it is. The prosthetics are so good.
So good.
Like, oh yeah, you need to watch that film. The story's not as great as it could have been. It's like a little wishy-washy, but
yeah, the reason which is so scary is she randomly appears in it. There's no like build up, no nothing. Just like they're going for this place, and then all of a sudden, fucking witchy woo.
Yeah, and the little pixie that's
She's a bit creepy.
Yeah, she is
Even
as
though
well.
she's not meant to be. I think she's pretty.
They're all a little bit creepy, and the little alcoholic dwarf people.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
The one with the wine under his hat.
Yes.
But then I won't ruin too much of it, but they're just good. It's sketchy though. When you watch it back, it's proper. I can't understand how kids would have watched that in 1985 because I didn't watch it until.
It's a PG, isn't it? It's something like
well,
that.
yeah, I mean, and I didn't watch it well until like nearly just before my teens. So I watched it well after it got released. So. Fucking for its time, it must have been really something.
I just don't think it ever took off, just because.
I think it was too dark.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think it was kid friendly enough.
I'm glad you watched that. Though.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why we were originally talking about it? It was because I actually successfully did a DMT trip.
Oh yeah,
the sponge was successfully saturated.
Fucking needed saturating though. Jesus.
I did. I proper got through some. Yeah. Again, we're still not certain whether it's me and my spongy properties.
I think it is partly your spongy properties, partly your girth.
Sponge like
you need more of the inhibitor, the MAO. Is what you need more of. But it's always better to err on the side of caution and edge your way in properly rather than just jump the gun. So that's what we did.
Well, yeah. So again, we're not going to necessarily say dosage or anything like that, but I had some that should have successfully taken me off, which didn't. Then another little bit on top of that, which still didn't. It got me further, and then
I wouldn't even count that one though, because that was a pure. This probably won't work, but may as well try it before we do the other thing. Yeah. So let's not say you didn't really double dose that. You really essentially had two ones. You had the oral.
I had oral.
Then we went and did the DMT trip. No, so you took it orally, and then you were kind of, if we talked about it before, where the normal world is like outside on the road. When you experience a little bit of it, you go to the garden gate, then you go in the garden, then you get up to the front door, and then you go through the front door. You got up to the front door, but it wouldn't just go. So then we got you through the door.
Yes,
with vape.
I was through the door, but not that far in. I had a great experience. It was brilliant. Really enjoyed every moment of it. And there was points where I was in a bit of a loop, and you pointed out that I was in a loop, and I was like, "Yep, I'm okay with that. Then I'll carry on." And it felt right. Like I felt like I needed to experience that a little bit more.
But it's all you need is that one moment of reassurance when you're in something, when you're on that realm, and just when you're kind of like questioning something. All you need is no, it's good from anybody else, and your whole trip then just goes calm.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what it is, you're just like, oh, yeah, cool, I'll stay here for a bit and I'm in control.
Yeah. And the overall experience, like, I definitely know that I could get considerably deeper in that.
But that's just time again, though. Like,
yeah.
You said even you listening to, what's he called? The guy you were listening to.
Terence McKenna.
Terence McKenna, who's even saying that, that the first few times the brain simply is incapable of dealing with all the information that it's shown. Yeah. So the likelihood of you getting into a point where you're able to go and access more of the information.
Yeah.
It's unlikely until you've had a few times of being in that zone.
Yeah, you're almost like too astonished by what's going on to really take everything in and use it properly as a learning tool.
Which is 100% true.
And it's fucking amazing, and it's more. And it's so hard to explain when you say it's more real than real. Like, it's more real than us sat here talking.
Yeah.
And it's hard to comprehend that. And it's almost like, I feel like now when I've talked to people, I'm like, it's kind of pointless me talking to you about this, because I remember having these exact conversations with Lex on the other end.
Yeah.
And it was completely like, now I've actually done it, I'm like, oh, well, that was just like, that was the
Words
most superficial explanation of it. Because you can't explain.
Yeah.
You can't explain it because it's just so much more than what you think you can even comprehend. But it was a really nice experience overall, and it has actually been very helpful for me. I'm glad that considering I didn't get all the way in, like, I actually managed to take something away that was really useful, and I think that definitely...
You went in, dude. You were, you were part of the cosmos.
I was,
for a good amount of the time.
No, I know, but I know that there was more. Like, I still felt like I was...
That's still in. It's just... You didn't get shifted along into the different sections of it. You stuck in the one, which was the landing spot.
Yeah, I kept trying to remember that there was something beforehand.
You kept trying to piece your consciousness back together.
Yeah.
You were trying to rebuild Lewis.
Yeah.
For quite a large percentage of it, until you were reminded that you didn't need to, and then every so often you'd stop.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
Then you'd learn something, then come back, then try and rebuild Lewis.
Yeah, and there was moments where I was just like, I'm Lewis and I have a gym. And
you literally were saying these things, yeah.
It
was like you were going chink, 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 pulling things back into
it's
place.
hard to explain that not only did I lose context of me as a person, I lost context of the world, time, reality, everything. I was just a pinprick of consciousness in the middle of nothing and everything, which are the same thing.
But you let me know a number
yeah,
of
which
times.
I did definitely tell you.
Yeah.
And that was all that I had. And then I kept getting these feelings that there was something else, which was like me trying to piece back reality,
trying to pull you back to this world.
Yeah. And again, it wasn't uncomfortable in the slightest. No. The whole thing was very insightful.
One of the funny parts was how you slowly went from this in and out of trying to understand the cosmos and being everything and nothing and everything again all at once. Mm-hmm. And then just slowly but surely, as I pushed you on conversations, you just come back a little more, and you go off and do something, then you come back a little more. And then there was just that moment where you went shoomph, and you were back and able to converse, but still connected.
Yes.
And so you but then that was the benefit of having me there pushing you on questions.
Yeah, you guided me.
Yeah. And that helped you correlate what had happened a little bit more and hold on to a little bit more of the information, because it can be overwhelming with just the amount of stuff you're shown.
Yeah.
So I think you held on to a lot from your first time really well.
Yeah, I do as well. And I 100% think that is like almost all down to you asking me the right questions and kind of got like the little bit of consciousness that was still around was then able to like... I still answer. It's weird. Like you don't know that you're answering questions. You don't know that you're doing anything.
Sometimes you wouldn't have even known it was me asking the questions. You would have maybe heard it was the universe asking you something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah,
it's very bizarre. It must sound so fucking weird to everyone else who's not experienced it.
Yeah, but it was so great to do, and because I was able to guide, and I thought. And I was happy I was able to do that, and that I had the skill set to be able to do it in the right way to keep you nice and calm, enjoy your journey, and take something from your time.
Yeah.
And 3 days later, you checked in, and you're like, "I'm so good. I'm all good."
I genuinely
really helped.
The day after, it was definitely the most apparent, but it's something that still carried on. And this is like it's only like 4 or 5 days later, whatever it is. So the Saturday after, which was the first full day, I don't think I can't ever recall just being happy and content all day for no reason other than just because. And I just felt content. I like I've spoke about it before. I'm very harsh on myself, and I'm always like pursuing the next thing, and I never really take any time to acknowledge a success. I'm always just like, that's done. What's next? And that's just how I've worked for such a long time. And I did nothing. I did barely anything that day. Just went to BJJ, had some brilliant rolls. Had some great conversations. It was a really nice day. Like, just didn't achieve much at all. Did no work. I don't even think I checked my emails. Did nothing. Yeah. And I felt happy and content all day. And then the same on the Sunday. And I really just felt like just a little bit of my perspective, of just like the core of my being, had just like someone's like turned the dial ever so slightly of the like
Just adjusted the frequency a little bit.
Yeah, and that really allowed me to breathe, like in a different way, and in a way that I didn't even realize how tense or how much tension I was still carrying until it kind of went. I was like, oh shit, you can do this.
I think it's awareness is what it brings to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Awareness and control.
Yeah, it was, and also it made me realize how. I'm not going to go into the exact details of what I learned, but I'll give you kind of the basic gist of part of it. And like when, I'll just explain loosely.
You do that because I need to pee.
Okay.
And that's going to be a good point for you to just talk.
Yeah, okay. So I kind of I've always had this feeling of me not being quite normal. And I suppose that's mainly down to my upbringing. And again, not going into too much detail about that, but I've always felt like, how I was raised and how all my friends were raised, there was always something that was different about me. And I think I carried this feeling of like abnormality with me, and I applied that to everything else in life. I always felt quite separate from everyone else. Like I had to do things differently, because when I do the same thing as everyone else, I don't get the same reaction. And when I was going into the DMT trip, because this is the third time that I've tried, and last time, wasn't that successful because I just couldn't, I didn't get enough in. The first time was semi-successful, but then I took it this time, and like an hour had gone by, and normally people are kind of within half an hour they're fucking gone, and in my head straight away I was thinking like, God, is there something wrong with you? Why is the DMT not working on you? Why is it taking so long? And that was that inner kind of monologue of mine, which was me feeling unusual or abnormal. And then as the DMT started to kick in and it started to work, it proved me wrong. It was like, yeah, you are normal. You're just a human, same as everyone else. You do, 1 + 1 = 2. They get the same result. And in me realizing that, it almost undid all of the origins of that thought pattern of me being abnormal, and how I felt pressure to have to work harder than other people to get the same results. And
kind of welcomed you in.
Yeah, and I think it's because I went in with that like frustration at myself, and then I got proved wrong, and then it started me along that pathway, and then I was like, it unraveled all of that.
Because it went deeper than that then after.
Yeah, it went
finding out.
All down to like my kind of weird ass childhood and the strange kind of like setup that went around that, which is good. And there's a lot of the stuff that I was aware of that, because I'm not an idiot. You can put two and two together and look back at your upbringing and like, okay, why? Because we're a product of our environment, and like, I could see it, but I couldn't actually believe it. And then for something just to happen, and then it's like somebody just laid all the cards out on a table and be like, there you go, that's you. That's why you're you. And you'll be like, oh shit, is it that simple?
Yeah.
And you can just see it black and white. There's no questions. And it just something to give you a perspective shift so instantly is amazing. I've never experienced anything that can instantly just change your perspective. You could go to therapy for fucking years and years and battle away and be doing mindfulness and positive affirmations and all of these things, and still probably not get the same level of a result that you can just do in a fucking couple hours basically. And I did a bit more research into it, and we were talking about it, that there's a lot of research going into DMT combined with therapy as treatments for depression, anxiety, PTSD.
Yeah. You said they're actually practicing it now, aren't they? It's actually being used in a clinical study.
Yeah, and it's in London that they're doing a lot of this research, and there's like scientists that are obviously mapping out what's going on with the brain along with therapists. And I'm sure the company was called Small Pharma. And if you have a look on YouTube,
I knew that they were doing clinical trials with stuff, but I didn't know they were actually able to start really using them long term on people, which is great to hear.
Yeah, well, they've got stuff of like people, like heroin addicts being cured of addiction in a single use.
It's so crazy.
And
the only way to describe it is that it shows you what you need to see without any attachment of emotion. It shows it you as clear as day. This is why you feel this way, and you're like, oh shit. And then because you know why you feel that way, you're no longer bound to it.
Yeah, and
because you've got the roots.
yeah, and by know we mean literally like you know and believe it fully. It's not like
oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just
It's not like I tell you that there's a certain engine in a car and you're like, all right, I know that now.
Yeah.
No, it's like
you've built
It's
that.
like
You
you
put
built-
that engine
it's like you
together
built
piece
the
by
fucking
piece.
engine.
You know
Yeah.
you know the ins and outs of it, and you believe 100% everything about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you can replicate that.
But and the thing is this isn't an exogenous source in aspect, but it's a compound which is within ourselves already. We just are no longer able to access it because we have developed enzymes to break down meats, which, in line with that, also oxidize the dimethyltryptamine, which is in our environment and in our food that we eat. So I truly believe there was a time where we were way more connected to all this and connected to the earth because it was within our diet, and I think we were most of the time like semi-tripping,
Tripping on DMT.
microdosing all day, every day through our diet. And then something happened, a cataclysmic occurrence, where we then had to turn to killing more of the other species that we were surrounded by to survive. And we moved off the land and into hunting more. And then that almost pulled us out from Mother Earth, in essence, and separated us from everything else on the planet. We're no longer so much in tune. We're not in with them. We're kind of off to the side.
Yeah.
And this is... And there's no way of explaining it, but this is how you truly feel when
It sounds like such hippie bullshit.
It does. And you couldn't have told me this shit like 5 or so years ago.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just
same. I like try to be open to as much stuff as possible, and I trust you and your experiences and things that you told me. But like deep inside, I felt like I was just like, it can't be that. It can't be that deep.
Crap, yeah.
It can't be that deep. Yeah, like not even.
But
not
you can
necessarily-
see now why hippies who, without the education of what we know now in terms of mindfulness, yoga, and all these things, and how meditation has a real beneficial medical implementation for things, you know, and that yoga can help strengthen. Otherwise, people are told that they would never walk or do these things again, and they prove people wrong with simple practices of yoga. With all that now, and then this information given on top, we can kind of dissect it and utilize it, whereas the hippies in the time, they were just hitting that shit and being like, whoa, the alien dude told me this, bro.
Yeah.
You know,
which I suppose there's some,
which is what happens. But I just think the way that they portrayed it, it was so beautiful and it's so emotionally charging that they just went forward with that, and everyone was like, whoa, calm down, mate. You know. But now you've got scientists and medical practitioners and high level psychologists all getting involved now with the processes that this involves, and saying, no, this is a legitimate pathway for the mind to work within to help us get better, cure things, and learn more.
Yeah, one of the analogies that I saw on the videos when they were talking about it, the experimental treatments, was that basically when you go to therapy, when you see somebody, they're trying to plant new seeds, give you new ideas, new perspectives on how to look at things. But then the DMT beforehand is like ploughing the field before you plant the seeds, and it does give you a much cleaner slate to start off of, and that's genuinely kind of how it felt. And I think if you just went in and just like, if I wasn't speaking to you, I just went off and took some DMT and just had a random trip with no expectations,
cool visuals and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like you have to like go in with intent, and then also you've got to, like you said, you've got to actually practice what you've learned. And
don't get us wrong. If you do this and you have a great experience, but then don't integrate it into your life, don't take the teachings and start grinding them into your daily activities, it won't take hold. It's like if you've fucked up a muscle on your body because of a bad action, a bad mode of action, then you go get it worked out by a nice masseuse and a physio, and they stretch you out and put it back where it needs to be, and you're like, that feels great. Then you go back to your bad mode of action, you're going to tighten that muscle and fuck it back up again.
Yeah.
You have to change the mode of action after the treatment, and this is exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's true not just with that. I mean, there's the whole thing of, like LSD and mushrooms that people have been microdosing and using with people with mental issues for many years now.
Yeah. I think LSD,
which is why I thought it was a bit weird we hadn't seen DMT up to this point, but now we are.
Yeah.
Ketamine as well.
Ketamine.
For anxiety, stress, and some kind... I don't know if they're using ketamine for kind of dissociative disorders or not. I feel like there was something to do with schizophrenia or something.
Maybe.
I feel like there was. But there's a lot of studies on those that are actually being published that you can research if you go on PubMed and you look into all these things. It's just a good eye-opening tool. We're not saying go and try and do anything like that. It's just to show you that there are ways that this has shown us that, especially for you, if you find the root cause, the real fucking root cause of an emotion that is starting to dictate the way you live, you can change the way you live. Because often you are feeling a certain way and you have attitudes aligned to a certain feeling, but you don't actually know why you ever really have that feeling or why it's always there, and you're constantly searching for something new to fix what is actually old.
Yeah.
And so it's looking with what we're trying to say is you need to look within.
Yeah.
And you don't need to go and do psychedelics and all things like that or take anything. You can start with mindfulness and meditation and practicing good daily habits. All these things all culminate together to create a great result.
I feel like having a DMT experience has almost validated the importance of things like mindfulness and meditation. Like, because you're almost like just tickling the same kind of area. Like you're trying to.
Deep meditation releases dimethyltryptamine
And
from the pituitary gland.
There's a type of yoga as well that's people always talk about that's meant to like cause
Bikram yoga.
Bikram yoga.
Is that the one?
Hold on.
Or is that the dude that just molested loads of
I
people?
was going to say that might be the guy who molested people.
There is one, and it's the one that Russell Brand does.
Brand, yes.
He does a lot of it, whatever the hell that one is.
I was watching a Russell Brand
There's hot
video,
yoga
actually.
as well, isn't there? There's supposed to be another one.
Yeah, there is one that
there is a
basically
really
can like...
Deep meditational one.
Yeah, no idea how it works or anything like that, but I did see something and Russell Brand was talking about
Yeah,
that.
well, even Sadhguru, if you listen to him on Joe Rogan, he's a massive one for meditating, and he said he was meditating for about 2 days straight or something, and there was a singular moment during that meditation where his whole body started to drip. Every cell of his body began to drip with ecstasy and absolute bliss and love and everything. And he said there were just tears streaming down his face. And he thought it lasted like 10, 15 minutes or something, this feeling. And it was 4 hours it went on for. But he'd been meditating for so long up to that point. I just think he just saturated himself with the DMT, with dimethyltryptamine, because that's what you create when you're doing it. Alongside, obviously, probably his other hormones were all elevated and everything else, and his mindset was in place.
A lot going on. And if anything, it really does, like, if you're meditating and you expect something to magically happen after one session of meditation, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. It's a skill that you pick up over time, and it's almost like a practice that you never actually can ever perfect.
Here's my first meditation. Let's tell me if this was what yours was.
Okay.
Sat in the meditation. Right, let's get ready. Yeah. First off, it hurt to just sit there.
Yeah.
And loads of my time was spent trying to pull my stomach in and stop my shoulders flopping, and then realising that my head was really far forward and I need to tuck my chin in. So then I was sitting upright and feeling like, oh shit, I never sit like this.
Yeah.
Oh, this hurts. And then I'm realising, I'm thinking about exactly what I'm sitting and feeling and all that. I'm not doing any meditating, so I'm supposed to have a quiet mind. Okay, quiet mind. As soon as I quiet my mind, I'd hear car, bird. Oh, damn it, I'm thinking about noises. Oh, now I'm thinking about the noises. And this is my just train of thought. I couldn't silence anything. And I came out of it thinking like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. But what was yours like?
Pretty much the same. The first time I meditated...
just black and gold from behind the eyelids as well.
Yeah, so I was just
I didn't see any pure blackness. It was literally like, because I was out in the sun.
Yeah, I was
just
out in the sun.
that like moving gold and black behind the eyelids look all the way through.
So my first experience was when I was still working out on the road, and this was, I don't know, 6-7 years ago maybe, and I had a friend from school, and he had just been living in Thailand. He'd been living in Thailand for a year or two, and he came back and he came to work, do a bit of work with me, and he was telling me about like meditation. I was like, oh, can you show me how to meditate? I've heard of it, I know about it, I don't know how to do it. And like he basically explained it when we just sat, we were in this field.
I've got a story for this after.
And we sat there, and he just explained, just like, you try and clear your mind. Things are going to pop in. Just ignore them. Try and brush them aside and clear your mind. He said, you're going to lose. You're not. If you're thinking about this in winning and losing terms, you're going to lose. You're not going to have a clear mind. But the goal is, as a thought comes in, push it away, and just sit and breathe. And I just had I think we had like a 10 or a 15-minute timer.
Yeah, normal.
And it was just silent. There was just trees, birds. Very nice, to be fair. And sat down. I was like, oh, this is a bit uncomfortable. I was like, my arse cheeks are going a bit numb here. I don't like it when my legs crossed. Because I was more focused on posture, whereas now I don't actually always think about making sure I'm sat on the floor or whatever else. I sit where it's comfortable. But this is hurting. And then I'd start to think about the job that I was doing a little bit, and I was like, oh shit, no, hold on, I'm not meant to be thinking about that.
Trying to organise your day.
Yeah, so clear my head, empty my head. Okay, all right, my head is now empty. Or is it empty because I'm thinking about this? Does this count? Am I doing, like, hold on a minute. How do you actually empty it? There's always something going on in your head. And you're like, well, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm thinking about nothing. Nothing. Okay, this is a word though. Words. How do you not have words in your head? And like this is
the journey of meditation. And so if you first start, this is exactly how you're going to be, and it's going to feel daft, it's going to feel silly, but over time it's like the lesson. Like when you went in for your trip, it's the lesson. You landed on that landing spot and you had to deal with all the overwhelming stuff that was there that you'd never seen before or experienced. But the next time you go back to that landing spot, you're like, okay, now which spot do I want to go to next? Because you're now aware of where you are. You're like, oh, been here before. And it's the same with the meditation. You get to that point of being like a bit blah, and you're like, oh, been here before. Okay, and then you won't go through the rigmarole of naming nothing is nothing a word and nothing this. You skip that and you get to the next little bit, and it does that and so on and so forth. But you've got to stay with it. It's got to be a daily thing. It's got to be consistent, and that's meditation. It's not this thing that you sit there and suddenly become this enlightened being in like a week's time because you've sat with your legs crossed and you maybe bought some baggy pants.
You've got baggy pants.
They're so comfy. But,
do they help?
Yeah, no, not even a little bit. No, they're just cool to walk around in.
Yeah,
everyone loves those purple pants, man.
Yeah, I do like them. I'd like some baggy pants.
Everyone was like, "Where'd you get those from?" Like any hippie shop ever. Like 30 odd quid. They're really well made though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like you're probably more likely to be helping a small company or cause buying that stuff.
Yeah.
So I doubt they're like buying them from China.
Yeah, I don't know about.
Yeah. But this is the thing with meditation. So don't let the silliness stop you from carrying it forward, because it really, really does help. And eventually you learn to quieten the mind. It's not even that you're seeing nothing. It's just the fact that when a thought comes in, you can register it, accept it, acknowledge it, but then you push it aside and you don't let it grow. And I think pushing aside is a bad thing. It's just like you look at it and you go, okay, done with that.
Yeah.
And I literally
just leave it where it was.
Yeah, you leave it.
And
and I was doing something when I was in meditation the other day. I was thinking through all that you said with your work, stuff I got to get done. And then it was it was the dent. Someone dinged my car door. I was pissed off. And just like, what if this is going to happen? What if I can't get it fixed? What if I have to get it resprayed? And all this was happening. And then I sat there and went, in my own head, in the middle of meditation, went, well, when you're done meditating, you'll make a call to somebody and you'll find out what will happen once they come and had a look. And until they've come and had a look, there's no point in worrying, is there? Mm-hmm. And so I almost learned a little bit of dealing with that thought process and managed to dial it down and calm myself and do it. Now, that could be anything about something else. Mad with a partner, mad with your kids, mad with your job. You can do all these things and you just get to a point where, well, there's no point worrying until we get to this bit. And even then we won't worry. We just deal with what we're told.
Yeah. Yeah. And you do get those moments of nothing occasionally, and they're brief, and then afterwards you're just like, oh my god, I had nothing in my head then. How long was that? Was that a minute? Was that 10 seconds? I don't know, because there was nothing there.
I get a bit floaty when it happens.
Yeah,
like I almost get a tunnel in front of me. Yeah, and then it feels like I'm swaying.
Yeah, it is. It's
but I've watched the video and I'm not.
Strangely euphoric, I guess.
Yeah, it
with
is.
That like emptiness, and it's really
imagine
hard.
If you were like a master of getting to that level.
You could do that and hold that for like longer periods of time. That'd
imagine
be pretty...
coming out after doing 20 minutes of feeling like that. You'd be like a god.
It would, I imagine, be like just doing these like trips,
newly
basically.
Born.
Yeah, just tripping every day, just off your own.
But that is it.
High off your own supply.
It's essentially what you're doing. Getting high off your own supply.
To quote Wim Hof.
Yeah. All this breathing and everything.
I just realised the original reason that we tangented from the tangent of the other tangent.
Yeah.
Because we said about while we were talking about Legend, and there was a moment in my trip where there was something dark, and again, this wasn't even that negative, but I was aware that there was like something ominous.
Yeah.
And everything was pitch black, but I felt like I was in a subterranean
layer.
Yeah, like it felt almost, like in like Lord of the Rings, a dwarven, like it was massive, this colossal room kind of with base. Like pillars, but it felt very oppressive. It felt like it was underground.
Yeah.
But everything was pitch black, and the only reason I could see like what felt like maybe walls was these like pinpricks of colour that were just dotted around, which was able to give me like a silhouette of things. And there was this off to the left hand side of me, there was this face, which I've showed Lex like a picture of. But it semi reminded me of the devil from Legend, because there's a scene in it where he's all black. It's in like a shadow. And
that is not in the movie.
Or is it a cut scene?
That's what do you call them? Edited scene. It was removed. It was deleted scene.
Yeah, I thought it was a special feature.
Because that is actually the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
And they obviously chose not to show him at the very beginning, because you don't see him until right towards the end.
Yeah, that is because they keep close-ups and stuff,
you
don't
literally
they?
don't see him until right near the end.
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought I'd seen that anyway. And basically, there's a scene where he's all black and his eyes are glowing, and it was similar to this face thing that I was seeing. And I knew that it was a negative thing that was in that area, but I wasn't bothered by being there. And I knew it felt like I was in a doorway, and I could have stepped out of that room almost, but I didn't. And I was curious by what was in there and why that thing was making me feel uncomfortable. And I remember feeling like I was leaning into it to try and because it was so dark, I felt like I was looking around.
Yeah.
I don't remember how that part ended though. Like, it just felt like I was then all of a sudden I've forgotten about it and then it was somewhere else, and I couldn't really remember it until looking back. But so. And then I explained that to Lex, and then told him about the devil thing, and you were like, I don't remember that from the film. And then I was like, I've seen it, I know it's a thing. And then found that it was a special features.
Yeah.
God knows why I can remember random special feature scenes from
have a crazy
35-year-old films.
Yeah. Yeah, and then found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a heck of a time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've had a good week. It's been very good. Oh, I've got an interesting one. Actually, I'll tell you that at the end. Well, so, I was going to tell you a story about the thing. So Yusuf came... Joe, who I did the fight videos with, and he's super into his meditating and all that kind of stuff. I did the same as you. I said to him, can we do some meditation together? Because he's really good at it. He was like, yeah. We did the same, went out into a field near here and just sat in the middle of this field. And what it did for me was, it showed me how unawkward he was with this whole process. He just was like, sat there, chilled, happy, he's like, cool, let's go. And he set a timer, and then he just was like there. I was like, look, he doesn't feel awkward. He doesn't feel judged. Nothing. He's just fucking doing it.
He's just sat there doing nothing.
And it made me do this to be like, yeah, this isn't fucking hippy-dippy stuff. Like, just fucking have a go.
Yeah. Yeah, well, especially fucking Yusuf doing that.
Well, Yusuf can tear your head off.
Fucking kill you.
He's literally a fighter, yeah. He'll literally just ping your nose around the other side of your head.
yeah, literally. So I think as well that that's the confidence in it, because it does require a bit of self-belief, self-confidence to go for it. It's an interesting thing. I do think meditation is something that is
we harp
really
on about
underrated.
it, but please start if you haven't.
It's not easy, and it sounds theoretically sit and do nothing. That should be the easiest thing in the world, but somehow it's one of the most challenging things to actually do.
That's very true.
And so it's definitely worth it. It's worth trying. And I know some people that have taken to it and picked it up really quickly.
But don't just try once.
Oh God, no, no. I've tried. So I'm not the most consistent. I've probably done maybe a whole month. Of doing it every single day. That's probably the most consistent I've been. And I would only have a handful of those sessions, maybe out of 30 days of doing it every day. I might have half of them that were semi-successful for moments, and then half of them were probably not that successful, but I was trying. But
you still feel great for getting it done, you still do have a feeling of elevation when you come out of it, regardless.
Yeah.
Only if it's only for the fact that you committed to putting the time in.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of the time you're just like, well, I tried and I'll be a little bit better next time.
Yeah.
And then, sometimes the next time you go in and you actually find these little moments of peace. And I think now, the modern world, bombarded by bullshit on your phone, and
from the moment you wake up, people put their face in their fucking phone.
Yeah, there's just so much shit now. There really isn't much chance to catch your breath and really have nothing.
Yeah.
And I think again, going on holiday, having your phone away from you, going camping, getting out, or going out for a walk and leaving your fucking phone at home.
I did that the other day. Went out for a walk, no phone on me, nothing, just enjoyed time there. And what I found mostly is my mind didn't wander back to wanting to take a video or do something, because I knew I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was just able to be enjoying it.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit hard, because the moment's like, oh, that'll make a great photo.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, why don't you just enjoy it with your eyes?
Yeah. Especially for you, you're always thinking about content. That's
I also enjoy taking photos and editing them as well, though.
Yeah.
But sometimes I try and see it too much through the lens.
Yeah, and also it turns it into work. And although you enjoy it,
true.
I enjoy my job, you enjoy your job, but it's still work.
Yeah.
It still takes something out of us. Is that how we would react if we didn't have to do that to make a living?
Yeah, true.
Probably not.
So with that in mind, I've got a surprise that let me up. I always like to make a good old racket.
Oh, I just realised as well. So this podcast.
Go on.
I think this podcast. So this one's going to be out on. This one's going to be out on the 2nd. Yeah. No. Yeah, it'll be out on the 2nd. So this podcast is the last podcast where you're going to hear me where I'm going to be in my 20s. I'm going to be 30 years old on the next podcast. Fuck's sake. So, it's all downhill from here. No, I'm semi-depressed about it.
All downhill from here, to me, is great.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Downhill is the best part.
Downhill, uphill, whichever the one's a shit one.
All uphill should be the saying. It's all uphill from here.
See, but it could go either way. I disagree with. I don't like this saying because it doesn't make sense to me.
So I got a little surprise. So this is part and parcel of some of our followers putting them on to us. Mm-hmm. But there's a guy called Sam Neath, and he is basically he's a CEO of Zenful Men.
I know somebody. Mary messaged me about him.
Yeah.
I said I was going to talk to you about it today, actually.
He's going to come on in June.
Oh, sweet.
He's going to be on the podcast.
Sweet.
So he's going to come down. He's going to do the podcast with us. I might do some videos with him for my YouTube on the day after and stuff. Or we just might plan to go do something cool together.
Awesome.
So that is going to be occurring in June because I'm away now, and then we've got guests on through the back end of May, and then he's in Bali and Singapore until the back end of May. So it'll be beginning of June. We get him on.
That's pretty cool.
But we're starting to pick up the guest spots.
Yes.
They're carrying forward.
Well, because we mentioned in the last one, didn't we, about let us know if there's anyone who you want us to try and speak to, or even if it's not a specific person, if there's areas that you want us to try and dig into, whether it be like business or something like that, whether we can get people on that are more focused around like literally or like legal structure of businesses and how you get started from, we've got experience in that, but ours is quite specific to our industry, I guess, or and again, it's anecdotal. It's not like we're not like, I don't know, what is that role? Like a business advisor, I suppose. You
can get people like that who are kind of mentors and stuff like that, can't you?
Yeah. There's loads of kind of things in that space. So keep giving us more information and more ideas because it is fun to get other guests on. It's really interesting to get that dynamic together. Yeah, we are also working through stuff with the CREWCast event. I know a lot of people have messaged in. There was like several people that were just like, I've been listening since day one. You've got to let me you've got to let me have a ticket. It's not fair otherwise.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And so obviously we've said that we are gonna keep it limited. We're gonna keep it kind of on the smaller scale because we want it to be something special. And
we want to be able to be basically really connected throughout the whole thing to everyone who's there.
Yeah. So we'll announce in advance when there's going to be tickets available, what the time we're going to release, and then it'll just kind of go from there. So it is going to have to be like a first come first serve, but we'll give you plenty of time. So if you want it, you can get in and grab them. We aren't going to be doing it with accommodation as we thought about beforehand.
It's just easier to let other people.
Yeah, it's just easier because some of the people are very local. Some of the people that message are very local, so they said that, if I was going to come, I'd just be able to get my partner to pick me up. Yeah. Or some people were like, I can just sort some accommodation, this, that, and the other. So we're just going to sort our bit. You just figure out where you're going to stop within the area, which I think is the easiest way of doing it, to be honest.
Yeah, tons of bits and bobs of places to stay as well.
Yeah, so
especially in advance.
Yeah, so we're working some stuff out, and then we'll get back to everyone with a price, and then we can get it all sorted. But it's going to be under £100. We're trying to basically make it as good as possible in terms of value and time, and we want you guys to be able to spend time with us. It's going to include being able to train with us at the gym. Yeah. And then
we'll get food in.
Food, drinks, smokes, all the good stuff. Yeah. And meeting with some of the guests who we've had on, doing some like live Q&A stuff with them. Just be really interesting to bring everyone together.
Yeah. Be fun.
I'm excited for it.
So we're coming into the back end of this podcast now. So I think we want to touch on, because you've been having it recently, and obviously you said that it helped having that separation and and we've talked about meditation, but dealing with stress in any form, but not whether it be work or family relationship. So ways of dealing with stress that you found useful. Someone could, we have talked. Obviously, we've told you about meditation as one, but other ones.
Yeah, stress is a real tough one because it's really consuming, isn't it? And I think one of the easiest ways to and sometimes easier said than done, to get out of that stressful feeling is to remove yourself from the stressful environment. So if you are stressed at work, obviously you can't just be like, fuck you guys, I'm out of here. But when you go home, do your best to, like, if you're one of them people that just goes work home, work home, work home, that's all.
Which most probably.
Break it up a little bit on your fucking, if you work in some offices, driving home, the weather's getting nice now, find a field, fucking go for a walk, go and take half an hour, just go out for a walk, or whatever you enjoy. Yeah, go straight to the gym, go to the local shopping centre and just go and have a look around the shops if that's something you enjoy.
Yeah.
Book a massage. Just environment is something that is massively impactful on your stress levels. If you can change the environment that you're in and ideally have some distractions there, which is almost, in a sense, sometimes a walk isn't the best because it's almost too peaceful. So if you're somebody who is very anxious, very stressed,
wants their mind taken off.
Your mind might still be ruminating on.
Go to the cinema.
Yeah, cinema. Yeah, all you'll be thinking about is what's happening on that fucking massive 20-meter screen.
Yeah. Plan it in there so you know you've got to look forward to. But one of the things is, if you are going from, like you said, let's take work as an example, stressful place of work or just your stress in general, and you go straight back home to other people, you're going to carry that stress through and put it on them. You're then going to cause a negative relationship with them through this stress that is nothing to do with them. No. But because with human nature, people have things they want to talk to you about that are usually problematic, or they just want to talk and discuss things. But if you're all consumed with what's going on with you and you're just like, oh, don't bother me now with that, you're putting out a negative vibe towards those people, and that's going to cause more tension between you and them. It's not actually going to help that relationship, it's going to harden it. So by separating and and this is what we're talking about, by finding the root of the stress. So you could be having a bad relationship with your partner or your kids or your family who you're living with, mum, dad, whatever, because of the work stress. And you remove the work stress, you find out, oh shit, there was nothing to do with them. It was all the root cause of it was this problem at work. Yeah. And this is why we talk about trying to center yourself and find what it is that's really truly causing the problems.
It could be something as simple as if you're on a time crunch and you've got to get home for childcare or whatever else, just put in some music that really makes you happy on the drive home.
Or listen to some Alan Watts.
Yeah.
Or listen to some Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, just something that you find helps occupy your brain. Listening to a book, whether, when you're a kid, you don't fucking read anymore because you don't have time or whatever it'd be. Yeah. But you used to like Harry Potter. So get the Harry Potter audiobooks and listen to 20 minutes of that while you're driving, and then just get a break from your own brain for a little bit, and having that distraction in one shape or another is fucking really helpful.
Massively helpful. And also the time, anything that creates kind of a buffer between that, leaving a place in a stressful state and getting to your next spot. Anything that dulls that emotion. By the time you get to the next spot, it can be a little bit more open, a little bit fresher, a little bit more new. A bit more of a new you by the time you land at the next spot. That should be your goal. Now, a real simple one, if you are, like I said, time constraints, is really simple. You just do this right now. You can do it as well. You sit there and you just breathe in for 5 seconds. So breathe. You're going to hold for 5 seconds. 3, 4, 5. You're going to exhale for 5 seconds. And you just hold that exhale. 3, 2, 1. And you just repeat that. You do that for 2-3 minutes. I guarantee everything will start to come down. All your levels will start to come. You might even I've got goosebumps. Look. You will feel so much better. Whenever you hit a moment in the day, anything stressful, something's overwhelming, 5 in, hold, 5 out, hold. Just do it for 5 minutes. I guarantee you'll feel better straight away.
Yeah, learning to control your breathing is something that is a really useful tool. Because if you think about it, when people do get stressed and anxious, you can physically see their breath get shorter, it's sharper, it's all up in the upper chest. Like, it's very short breaths, isn't it? And
agitated.
Yeah, and then when you're asleep, if you've ever seen anyone asleep, they breathe quite deeply, they breathe very slowly
until they have a nightmare, and then it's
yeah. So not only does your stress affect your breathing affects your stress.
Yeah.
And it's a two-way street. Yeah. So if you're stressed and you can't control the stress, but you can control your breathing, they will have an effect on each other. Things like Wim Hof breathing, stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's got loads of brilliant instructionals on YouTube. He's a crazy Dutch bastard who's freaking awesome. And he's
fought E. coli with just the power of breath.
Yeah, and I like listening to him just because I think his accent's funny, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it makes it sound cool.
And I do really like his breathing things. And I have some of them, and they're just like fully in, letting go. that's like, and it's just him just like walking you through breathing, and he'll be there like getting a breath hold. And so you'll do like some of the Wim Hof breathing, and it's brilliant. I think controlling your breathing, changing your environment, I think those are two.
Breaking up that routine of stress, breaking up the routine of carrying the stress through to your next spot, carrying it through your day, carrying it through into the evening.
There's something that I can't remember the details on, but Brendan Burchard, who he's got like he's a high performance coach, and there's something that he used to do about, I can't remember, he would have these like transitional moments basically when he was going from one meeting to another, or one room to another, or from his car to get a coffee with a client or whatever it was. He would have like 10 seconds where he would like do a little mental exercise of like,
what's it called?
Brendan Burchard.
Brendan Rashard.
Burchard. Maybe.
Google.
High performance coach. He's got a book called High Performance Habits. He's worked with like Oprah and Obama and stuff like that.
Brendan Burchard.
Burchard, that's it. Burchard. So it's Brendan Burchard.
Brendan and then Burchard. Brouchard. And
it's like almost like how I don't remember all the details because it's been a couple of years since I've read the book, but it was almost like he was treating those little moments in between as like a checkpoint in a game. Like he was like, right, okay, this is time for a little reset. This is somewhere I can go back to. Just reset your breathing, reset your mind, whatever I'm going into now. I'm a blank slate.
There's nothing to just find there quickly Googling. No. But I think you hit the nail on the head when you said you can't control the stress, you can't control this, whatever it is, but you can control the breathing. Focus on what you can control. And that is through every day, all day, every day. Look for the good. Go towards the good. Whatever's fucking bad, listen, it's fucking bad, that's happened, whatever. Okay, what can we do? Fuck the can'ts, fuck the couldn'ts. What can we do? Where can we go? And what's good? What has happened that's good? What can we chase? Those are all the things that you should be looking at through the day. Don't focus on the negatives because you can't control what has happened and what's come and gone. It's happened. It's done. Yeah. So focus forward and control what you can and focus on that control. And then you'll be able to build. And it doesn't have to be big. It can be as small as just your breathing. Then you start to control your timing of your day. Then you start to control the whole of the day in terms of what you want it to go like, and then slowly it builds through you. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and you also saying about the how it carries over from, you bring that stress home with you, and then that will transfer onto your partner or your family or whoever it is.
You project it onto them.
Yeah, you do, and they're going to pick up on that negativity. One thing I really think is something that people should be mindful of is how, especially I think in relationships like your significant other, how things can habituate over time. You can fall into these habits with your relationship, and if you're not mindful of what you do repeatedly, that's going to be a habit. If you consistently come home stressed and you consistently take that out on your partner, not meaning deliberately taking it out, but if you're negative towards them because of it, that's going to stick around even when that stress is gone. Because now, what do you do daily? Oh, I'll come home, I'll argue with the partner because I don't want them to talk to me.
Ready for her to have or him to have an issue with something that's happened in the house or something at their work that you don't want to hear about. And you start creating just this. Before you even walk through the door, you're like, oh, fucking here we go.
Yeah, and you've built that over time. Yeah. And I've fell into this habit. I'm sure everyone's done it, and you'll build these negative habits, and it's so much hard work to then wipe that slate clean again and be like, okay, how am I going to go in without all, because you've got all these negative connotations now because you've, do you know what I mean? Imagine if every day you walked into the gym, loaded up 200 kilos on bench press and dropped it on your chest.
Yeah, every first exercise every day.
That's what you do, and then you're turning up to the gym, and then you're actually only going to put like 140 kilos on there, but you're just like, fucking, you're dreading it already because you're just like, oh, I know how this goes. It sucks. You're going to feel the same stress and anxiety because you're like, oh, I'm going in, I'm going to have something fucking land on my chest. It's going to suck.
Yeah.
And you've just built that habit, and then it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You think it's going to happen, so
you wouldn't
do
it, wouldn't you? You wouldn't continue going to the gym, dropping 200 kg on your chest. You'd be like, well, that's stupid. It hurt, and it gave me no good feelings. Yet we do that with the emotional side of ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Repeat the same over and over and over.
Yeah.
Have you been watching the Johnny Depp?
I haven't watched any more of it since.
Live. You can watch it live. It's on right now. Like
this podcast, we're going to go and watch it. Sorry, guys. Like, we're turning the podcast off so we can watch.
It's literally, you can look live in the court. Like, it's right here. Look. That's a court going on right now. And I sat and found this yesterday. I found it yesterday, and I caught the last hour of it. I was engrossed.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp was on the stand.
Yeah.
I was like fanboying whilst I was watching his court case. He's so kind of just...
He's calm and collected, isn't he?
He's super deep. Every answer he gives, he wants to almost give you a book's worth.
Yeah, yeah.
You can see what he's like as a human.
Can you remember I said this the other day, and you can say everything... When he got asked a question, he stopped and he thought about it, and he made sure that he
But not in a calculated way.
No, he was just very mindful of everything he was saying, and he wanted to explain everything. And like I said, it didn't come across as being calculated. He wasn't there like thinking, what's the best answer? It was just everything was at a pace that was reasonable. Yeah. He's not anxious. He's not rushing, and like there was a feeling of lightness to him. Like he didn't seem depressed. He was like, there's loads of clips of him.
You can see he's separated from the issues now.
Yeah, there's loads of clips of him like almost making little jokes, and you can hear like the jury are laughing, and it's like he's not cracking a joke, but he said something that's like a real honest, innocent thing to say.
Right. He's making a joke of something that is basically being playful with how stupid something is.
Yeah.
So he'll make a little joke like he does one about hearsay because her judge was being retarded. Her barristers, she's going back lawyers.
Yeah.
Her lawyers are
about
so
hearsay
fucking dumb. They're so dumb. What do you see? Her lawyer the other day objected to his own question.
Yeah.
He objected. He went, objection, hearsay. And the judge went, you asked a question?
Yeah. Yeah.
And everyone in the court was like...
Honestly, it's so bad.
So bad. But it is Johnny suing her. She's just counter-suing him suing her.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's suing her for 50 million for defamation of character.
Yeah.
And she is awful. Yeah. She is a horrible... They're bringing up recordings and everything. She is, number one, has the relationship mental age of a 15-year-old. She literally says because he's trying to walk away from an argument with her that she will literally die if he walks away. She says this.
Yeah.
She goes, "You are literally killing me. You are killing me." Yeah. Like it's just like, oh my God, I remember that when I was like 15, and there's an emotional wreck of estrogen.
Yeah, and he was saying in one of them, he's just like, you followed me through 5 rooms as I was trying to get away from this argument, and she was like, you can't just run away from the argument. So I was like, I could feel things building to a point where there wasn't any control.
Yeah.
So I was trying to just get away for a little bit, let things settle so we can talk, because we can't resolve the problem when things are getting that emotional. Things were getting too heated, so I tried to remove myself, but you kept chasing me.
But he doesn't just walk off in the recordings. He literally says to her, I'm going to take my leave now.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back in a few hours and we'll talk. And then she starts bawling. You can't keep doing this. He's literally trying to be as diplomatic as possible on a fucking recording.
Yeah.
That I think she's recorded to try and catch him out.
Yeah. Yeah. And it all just looks bad on her.
She is awful.
And like I think we spoke about it on the last podcast about the one where she's like was hitting him. Yeah. And then he was like complaining about basically getting punched. And she was like, I didn't punch you just because I didn't hit you with a perfectly open hand. It wasn't a punch. I just hit you.
It wasn't like I decked you. That's what she says.
Yeah. And then he was just like, don't tell me what it's like to be punched. I know what it's like. You're doing it to me.
Yeah. And there's the ones where she's throwing like...
And chops his fucking finger off with a bottle.
So there's a vodka bottle that's smashed.
Yeah.
And I assumed that he's probably had it in his hand or something, and she's smashed his hand with the bottle in it. Something like that. But
no, I think she threw a bottle at him.
It took... they didn't in the court that they were in, they were saying that there was no... It was all hearsay what happened. There was no proof or whatever. But he literally lost his full fingertip.
Yeah.
His... I don't know what you call him, his house master, the guy looking after the property and everything, the guy who's in charge of him, had to go and find his fingertip for him so they could put it back on. Like, he literally chopped the end of his finger off and pissed blood all over the house. And She's just horrendous, and the people are in there who are not employed by Johnny, are employed by Disney to look after the house. Would like say things like, "Yeah, Johnny was very pleasant, very nice man," but saw them arguing constantly, and her poking him, like winding him up to get into an argument. Like he would say, "Come in after a day," and she would immediately, the first sentence would be something provoking.
Yeah,
she was constantly drinking, so that's why she sounds drunk in a lot of the recordings from the previous trial, because she was literally smashed most of the time.
It's probably why she thought these recordings were going to be useful.
Yeah,
she was pissed. She was just like, "Oh,
yeah,
got him here,"
and
then just made her look like a complete idiot.
But she should be fired from Aquaman. She had him lose an entire role with Disney as a result of lies. Yeah. And there's a recording of her as well saying that she only said those things because his lawyers went on the offensive and her team advised her to do so. So she literally admits that she lied about him beating her. And her own lawyer was, I don't know if she did end up leaving, but basically what she said was that she used this certain makeup kit by Maybelline or somebody to hide injuries on her face that Johnny Depp had caused her so she could go to work, because everyone was like, well, you were at work through all those years and nobody said anything about you having any bruises or anything. She said she hid them with this Maybelline or whatever.
And she
wasn't Maybelline. It might be another brand.
Yeah, she actually showed this. It was
this one. Yeah, it's called an all-in-one something or other.
Well, she said it was literally this exact one that she had still. And she was like, this is the one that I used to cover up the bruising in like 2016 or something like that.
And then that brand, let's call it Maybelline because I think that's who it is, then TikToked the fact that wasn't released till 2017 and didn't even exist. Yeah. And so she's basically been absolutely caught out for just lied to the point so where her lawyer either threatened to quit or did quit and has been. I couldn't work out who the woman was that was pictured as saying quit, whether she was still there or not, but she's definitely got different parts of it.
It seems like her team they're just so fucked that they're tripping over themselves trying to
But if you haven't started watching it, watch it, dude. Just watch some of the live things. It will show you from a step away point of view what a toxic relationship sounds and looks like. And then, because there's points where it was happening, I was like, oh God, I remember being in something like that. And when you're in it, it's all consuming and you can't see outside of it and you don't see how abnormal it is. And because you get so used to arguing, you get so used to bickering, you get so used to that being the norm that you no longer see it as being abnormal. And it's so crazy that when you look at these people, they've got everything, money, wealth, that's not a worry, yet they still have this same basic problem. Yeah. And it's the emotional side of the relationship. And he trying, you can see it points, don't get me wrong, he's no angel. He was, drinking and taking drugs and stuff at the time. So he was, probably up and down all the time emotionally. But he did never put his hands on it. I 100% believe that. But he's constantly trying to walk away to rebuild. And she just won't let him. And you both have to allow each other to have these moments, because if one's charged and the other isn't, it's never going to work.
Johnny was definitely doing the right thing in that situation, because we've all been in those moments, and the only thing that's going to happen by carrying on going is one of you is going to say something that you really are going to regret, or you're just going to let it escalate and escalate and escalate. And if you can remove yourself,
and if you like caring and get angry, then stuff starts getting thrown and shit starts getting broken.
Yeah, exactly. And no surprise if he's because I saw something about him getting pots and pans thrown at him and all this stuff.
Oh, she stuck the cigarette on his face.
Yeah, so it's like if you know that's coming when she flips her shit, you're going to be doing everything you can to stop her getting to that level.
Especially if you're not a guy who's going to hit her back.
Yeah, so he must be thinking, right, I need to get out of this situation, because if I carry on talking to her, she's going to keep getting pissed off. If I start ignoring her, she's going to get pissed off. So I just need to go. I need to put myself in another room. I was wondering how did that relationship start almost? Because seeing how nasty it's gone now, I was just like, I wonder what he saw.
She's very striking when she's not in shape anymore either. She's clearly suffered from this breakup. She looks really puffy faced and tired and worn. She's gained weight. Not a lot of weight. She looks like a normal person, but she certainly isn't that chiseled, very.
I remember she did look very.
Yeah, she did have now. She looks very.
Is there a big age difference between them?
I don't know. Not sure.
I think Johnny's not young, is he?
No. And
she looks younger than him.
He looks better than her now. Whereas when they were together originally, she looked better than him.
Yeah. He looked very rough for her.
He looks really good now. He's grown his hair out and got the blonde in it as well. He looks really. He looks healthy again.
Yeah, he's put a bit of weight back.
But here's the other thing: like when she's listening to herself on that, and hearing herself screaming and not letting this guy walk away, what happens if she carries forward that with a bloke who will hit her back?
Yeah.
She might get killed.
Yeah.
So this should be a real eye-opener to her to be like, one, oh, I should never have done this lawsuit. This was silly. And two, I think I need therapy.
Yeah, like you can't hear yourself responding that way, even if the situation is not good. Like that's never going to be the solution.
Yeah, no one's ever punched someone in the face and gone, well, that sorted that problem, didn't it?
Yeah,
That helped.
I don't know. Maybe there's been the odd occasion.
Not from a man hitting a woman.
No,
or a
not
woman hitting a man.
No, definitely not.
At no point of someone gone, that's a very good point. Thanks. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
you know what? Actually, I
and then it's all
definitely
gone
deserved a punch in
hunky-dory
the
after
face.
that. No. The only time that works is if you've got two fighters in a cage doing it for competition and money and leave it all
in
in
a
the ring.
relationship, definitely shouldn't ever be like laying hands on each other, and that's not gonna.
If that ever happens, it needs either severe counselling or just end it.
Yeah.
Walk away and question why any of that happened in the first place. But yeah, that was just something that caught me off guard the other day. It was, I was uploading the podcast, and so I was on the YouTube on the app, and it popped up whilst I was uploading it. So I was like, live?
Yeah.
On YouTube, so let's have a look at this, and then that was it.
Yeah, there's a few little compilation videos, and it's like Johnny Depp charming the courtroom.
Yeah, I
and
know.
then it's just like a load of clips, like a 10-minute thing of just him like saying little things, and you can hear him like laughing in the background, or he just says something that's really like nice.
Yeah.
And like all people are saying nice things about him, and like
Well, this is it. You said they're getting character references on
yeah,
there.
and even like some when they're dragging up some of his substance abuse, and he does not hide a thing, and he was just like, "Yep, I did that." And one of them that again made the fucking jury laugh, and he was like, "Yes, I did give Marilyn Manson a pill of whatever it was, just to get him to stop talking." And everyone started laughing.
How could you not laugh at that?
But he's just like, he doesn't hide it. He doesn't try and be perfect. He's just he knows he's got his flaws, as we all do, and he's not like that's.
But
really,
he knows he never hit her.
Yeah,
That's it.
like,
and that's the main thing.
Yeah, the fundamentals
that's what this is
of it.
about.
Yeah, he never did any of the things that she's accusing him of, and maybe he wasn't very present as a partner because of the alcohol and the substance abuse. Maybe she needed somebody to talk to, and he was just trying to check out of reality.
She needed a counsellor, and she was trying to,
Yeah.
But she was also, from some descriptions, super high, super low all the time as well. So like go from honeymoon to hell within like 3 days.
Yeah, I think there's stuff about her potentially cheating on him as well, which I don't know. I don't know whether that's true. I can't remember who it was meant to be with, but yeah.
But she should be fucking fat. I can't believe they're keeping her in Aquaman 2. People will literally, Johnny Depp fans will not go and watch that movie because she's in it. Yeah. And there's a petition of 1.8 million people who've signed to have her fired from Aquaman 2. Yeah. So that's 1.8 million people that will not go watch that movie.
Yeah. I don't...
Minimum. I'm tempted to not go and see it at cinema because she's in it.
I think the fact that the Johnny Depp got the kind of... Well, the punishment's been done. He was out of... Fantastic Beasts. Fantastic Beasts.
Is that what they call that franchise?
Yeah.
Fantastic Beasts.
Somewhere to
Is that the name of it?
Yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue that easy.
So as in like Harry Potter was Harry Potter, that was what it's known as. That's known as Fantastic Beasts.
I think so.
Is it?
I don't know.
Seems wrong.
We did a review on it. We should probably know that.
I know. Yeah.
Don't trust us
because all the other ones are Harry Potter or that isn't the Fantastic. I thought Fantastic. Yeah.
And
correct us if you know.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean as well, like that.
I'm glad that he still got that. Fuck me.
But that was dropped, wasn't it?
I know. And then everyone kicked up a massive stink.
Yeah.
The fans went ape shit.
Like, is anyone even other than Johnny Depp? He was like the only original.
That would have been dead in the water.
Yeah. I actually started watching the first one the other day.
So
forgot how fucking brilliant it was. Yeah. Like, Keira Knightley, Orlando Bloom were just so... That.
I know. There was a great dynamic between them all, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was. Even like a lot of the smaller, the other pirates,
Oh yeah, the whole sidecar. They keep them in all the way through as well.
Yeah,
the bloke from bloody Emmerdale or whatever as he started and now is doing movies.
Oh yeah. You know, I don't know what
the eye that pops in and out all the time.
Yeah, like some of those. It was brilliant.
Have you seen the little comedy series he had of his own?
I didn't know.
It's about him and a metal detecting group of people.
No,
mate, it's fucking brilliant. Let me find what it's called. How
do you find these obscure things?
I don't know. Somebody put me onto it, and I was like, whatever. And I watched it, and I'm upset there's not another series being made of it.
Really?
So, Pirates of the... Now, is it Caribbean or is it Caribbean?
Caribbean.
Yeah, I say Caribbean, but some people say Caribbean. Is that Americans?
I thought Caribbean is how people from the Caribbean pronounce it.
We're not Caribbean.
The Caribbean.
Mackenzie Crook. So that's the guy.
Yeah.
You know him.
Yeah. The guy with the wooden eye.
Right, movies and TV shows. Detectorists.
Detectorists.
From 2014 to 2017. If you haven't seen Detectorists, good luck finding where to watch it, but try. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's fucking
And
brilliant.
they're just metal detector.
Yes, it's like he gets involved with this little community of metal detectorists, whatever you call them, and it's just him, and it's just the dynamic of just the nonsense of little town issues and stuff. But it's a comedy.
Yeah.
It's just really good, but also quite like heartwarming.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, it's really good. It's similar, like, oh, he's from The Office. That's where he's from. Not bloody Emmerdale, idiot. He's the guy in The Office who's a staple putting jelly and everything like that, isn't he? He's the wannabe manager.
Yeah.
Oh, he's brilliant. He's really good. Yeah, Detectorists. Give it a watch. From fucking Office to Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
What a fucking jump.
The first one's so good. Really fucking good. They're all good, to be fair.
There's not one I don't like. I've seen them.
I think some of them are definitely better than others. The one that's got Penelope Cruz in, is that the fourth one or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
I was like not a fan of that one as much, but like watching them as a whole, they still do well. But Johnny Depp is he's just the heart of that, isn't he? Like it would not be what it would have never taken off if he wasn't in it.
No, he built that character from like nothing.
Yeah, yeah. So it's good to know that will still continue in some capacity.
Oh yeah, we should see another one of the Pirates.
Yeah.
What are we on now? 5 or 6?
I don't know. That's count to be honest. But I'm just happy that that's like not been taken away.
When's bloody Avatar 2 out? Oh, we need to have a look at what movies we're going to try and watch when we.
We were hoping to go and see Northman, but it's just timing's not.
You've got a lot going on with work and stuff, and so we just wait for it to calm down until.
Well, after my birthday, because the next one's going to be a bit challenging to record, so we're going to have to work out when we can record our next one. But then after my birthday, on the 7th, then we're all straightforward from that point on.
Yeah, we've got things kind of evenly
back at
booked in.
work, so my hours will be reduced. I haven't got any, I've got a couple of days where I'm having off for my birthday, and then should go back to normal. We've got guests booked in for later in May. Should all be pretty straightforward, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, because Ryan's on.
We've got
14th.
Yeah, so I'm back in a week, so I land back literally the night before the day we normally record. We're not doing, are we?
Well, you're back on the 5th, aren't you?
I'm back on the night of the 5th. I get tattooed on the 6th, which is the Friday. So I am come back up on the day we normally record. But I think we decided we'd do it on the Saturday instead to make life easier.
Saturday's my birthday.
Saturday's your birthday.
It's
so
Friday and
definitely
Saturday.
then. We'll definitely record it then.
So
you cancel anything
Sunday
on that day, please, and we'll do this.
Yeah, I'll cancel my.
Your birthday.
I'll push my
please.
30th back.
Yeah,
I'll push it back till next year. Actually,
Yo,
I'll just have it next year.
I'll
say 29.
If that was a deal, I'd have done that.
I'll stay 29 for another year.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. So we'll work it out, but you will definitely do it on the. Well, on that Sunday though, I'm a zookeeper for the day.
Yeah,
I'm going for the Whoozoo experience. I'm going to go and get in with the animals.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's nice.
And then on the Wednesday after that, I skydive. In theory, if there's not
maybe you don't.
Or clouds, yeah. Assume it's booked in for the 11th.
Depending on whether they put their socks on the right way around or.
So then, after you've turned 30, I've gone and fed some animals, hopefully not died, skydived and hopefully not died. We then have, on that weekend, we've got Ryan from Late Night Legacy, the lead singer of Late Night Legacy, coming down, who has done us a new intro, which we haven't used yet.
Is it going to be on this one? We said it was
no, we're going to have to say it when we do it, and we wouldn't have even acknowledged it.
We said last week we were going to put it on this
one.
We
didn't do it. We haven't acknowledged it. So it'll have to be the next. I think we should wait till he comes on to put it on. It's only like two episodes away.
All right, you're going to have to wait longer.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though.
We did say last week that they're going to.
Did we?
Yeah, I'm sure we did.
Well, no.
Well, no.
Shit happens, people. Deal with it.
Unlucky.
And then...
That's suspense, that is. That's what it's called. Just building suspense.
And then we're trying to get Danny back down as well.
Oh, mate, Danny.
Yeah, trying to get Danny back down.
We should go up and do one up there, because we said we were going to
21st or 28th, we could have Danny on.
Mm.
But we've also got your...
Yeah.
We've got the therapist coming on.
Yeah.
When's he
Not my
coming on?
therapist. He'd be too scared.
We've got news therapists coming on to expose him.
I
Did you
can't
decide
remember
when
what-
he's coming?
Yeah, I think we said that it was the week after, wasn't it? So yeah, 14th. So I think it's the 21st.
So he's on the 23rd, on the
Yeah.
20th.
Oh, yeah, 20th. 20th, yeah.
Right, well, I need to add that in the diary because I haven't got that in.
Yeah, I'm sure that's right.
Because then I think I'm supposed to be getting a ride out in because the weather's supposed to be nice and all the boys are all coming up on the bikes and we're going to be riding out on the 21st for the weekend.
Yeah, got plans. Things are happening.
It's all go. This is the thing. Have a full diary, people, of good stuff to look forward to. That's another trick. Like when you've got something good, when you like your days are kind of looking like there's good things in there. You've booked them in. You've made time ahead of schedule to put those in.
It's a really good point.
boost.
You've got even if it's booking a holiday, even if it's months in advance,
Yeah.
you've then got something to look forward to. So when you're having a shitty day, you can just be like, oh, at least I've got that trip to
Yeah.
Portugal
Rome
or wherever the fuck it is.
I want to go to Rome next as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because you can nip it to Rome for like 5, well, I say 5 days, but as long as you get 3 full days there.
Yeah, you got like a city break.
Yeah. So if you arrived either super early or because your first day and your last day are not days. So everyone's like, oh, quick weekend break. Yeah, only if you get there on Thursday.
Yeah.
So, but I want to do that because Rome is. Have you ever been?
Nope.
Maybe we could do that. Book a
We should do that
getaway.
little bro holiday.
But it's you just walk everywhere and then jump on the underground like you do in London. It's exactly the same layout as in style as London Underground. But there's wherever you walk, no matter what street you turn down. I tried this. There's something on every single fucking thing. I was like, let's find a street with nothing. Nothing. Everything had something.
Yeah.
Even if it was just one cafe, but it'd be like the most banging cafe you'd like walk into. They'd do something awesome in there. It was really good. And there's one point where you're walking down the city and just at the end of this huge block after block after block, it's a fucking Colosseum. You just right there. It's like, well, that's where people used to fight to the death.
We could simulate it. Bring our own swords.
I think it costs like €12 to go in the Colosseum now. It seems a little extortionate.
Yeah, but I suppose.
They've got to upkeep it, I suppose.
Yeah, I imagine it's probably not the easiest thing. It seems to have gone downhill for.
It's not in the same state as they used to have it in.
Yeah, definitely not in the same state as it was several generations ago. Fuck knows how long.
There's good thriftiness there as well.
Yeah.
You can lots of like vintage stores.
Yeah.
So it's good to go with an empty suitcase.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Just like 2 t-shirts and a pair of jeans and then buy everything else there.
I'm happy to I don't know whether you'd be down for it. I've always wanted to do this and Emma won't do it. Literally just turn up at the airport with my fucking passport and be like,
Where are we going?
Where's cheap?
Really?
And then just like see where we could just get
tell you
like,
where you
dirt
go.
cheap flights.
Benidorm, that's where you'd end up.
Yeah, but like sometimes there is like a flight leaving for somewhere now. They've got like you can either get on or for like a cheap flight or
I don't think they do that anymore.
there's still
I think they if you're trying to get on it late, they're like, oh, are you? Oh, well, it's triple the price now.
there's some what is it, Skyscanner and stuff like that, and some of them even if it's like booking it like a day or two in advance.
I got a hand a hint for you if you do Skyscanner.
What?
Once you've been on Skyscanner for a little bit searching stuff, go ahead and clear your IP shit and all your history. Because if you go back on a few hours later, it remembers that you've been on and the prices automatically go up. Motherfuckers track you.
Yeah, it's no surprise.
So search Skyscanner, use a private browser. You can do it on your phone. You just go at the bottom and choose private tab instead of a normal one, and it won't
they
track
know.
you.
They look at porn.
I've literally done it. Yeah.
They know how to go.
Use
for
your
private.
porn. Use your porn tab and go and search on Skyscanner with that. Yeah, they fuckers track you.
Yeah, it
I know the
doesn't
prices
surprise
because
me.
they realise you've been on before.
I know with like Premier Inns and stuff like that, they change their prices like 5 times a day, just based to like kind of get people to rush in on the price, and then they'll immediately change it so then it goes so 2 people can have the exact same room booked on the same day. One person's paying £70 a room, the other person's paying 50.
Bastards. That annoys me. That does.
Yeah.
It's like just have a fucking price.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I just would love to just turn up, not know where I'm going, then just be like, yep, that's a flight. I'll jump on there, and then just work it out from that moment on. I think that'd be kind of fun. I know Emma's would just get way too anxious.
Yeah, she'd be
doing
way
that.
too anxious.
I don't know. Oh, what's the worst that can happen? I'll sleep on the streets.
Benidorm is what's the worst that could happen.
Can't be
Let us
that
know
bad.
if anybody's done something like that. What was your experience? And let us know on a voice note.
Yeah.
Or
It is a real
comment
thing.
sections, wherever it is that you're watching, listening, or just enjoying it. Hope you've learnt a little bit of something from today. We've I think we covered it. We probably tangented. We did some good tangenting today.
Yeah, today was a day of
Good one.
tangents.
Good one. So we will see you. I am going to be in Portugal. I'll probably try and get a short out to you from Portugal. It's a 20-minute one about what I'm doing out there, and it'll be something probably to do with mindfulness or something I've learned. Or it might just be, hey, look, I've got a tree behind me. And,
good enough.
Yeah, there you go. And we'll do some meditation looking at the tree. But then we're back, and we should have we should be back to. We shouldn't really miss or skip anything. We're rocking and rolling. So we'll see you. You'll see me in Portugal with the Portuguese. Hopefully,
Are they geese that are from Portugal?
Portuguese. Yeah, hopefully a little bit more tanned. Hopefully not burnt.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to come back so tanned. You're going to.
You think so? But it depends, doesn't it? Depends what it's like, because we haven't been in that much sun and getting. I got a little bit. Look, I've been outside a little bit and I've already caught colour. So hopefully, with a bit of factor 15, I'll be safe.
Yeah.
But I've still got skin that hasn't been in a lot of sun because we're in England. So it's like the first beginning of hot bits always catch me, burn me.
Next time you see me, I'm no longer going to be natural as well.
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause I'm going to be doing my first TRT injection on my birthday, on my 30th birthday. On that
yay!
Saturday. So yeah, and so realistically, the soonest day might be the Sunday where we record.
Cool.
So this
can
is
let
the
people know what
last
it's
time
like?
you'll see natural Lewis.
So there we go.
And
On
that's
that
when you'll
bombshell,
see
we shall end the podcast. Hope you're having a great week.
I better be massive at that point. One day later,
Just one day. Invisible carpets are
even
out.
if I'm not, just I'm going to sit my seat really close. Or just out angle the
You
shit.
just all of a sudden start just worrying about angles all the time.
Yeah.
And just standing like this wherever you go. Just that forearm out front. Yeah. Just, this is my chill face.
Yeah.
Traps, like pushing your trap, like shoving your head back into your own traps, trying to make them look bigger all the time. Can you believe there was a time where everyone used to do that shit? Fucking hell.
I don't know what you're on about, mate.
But don't be
Not a clue.
don't be those people. Don't be those guys. Bring forward what was good from last week. Leave behind what was bad, and have a great fucking week, people. Make your own energy and have a good one.
Toodle
Toodle pip.
pip.